what's going on? Welcome to Coach Gav Live, episode 91 with me, your host, Coach Gav from Kildare Strength and Fitness. So apologies, we're later than normal. I just got completely sidetracked training. I'm fucking tired as shit today after missing sleep last night. So I was just taking my time ran over. Also wanted to prep the whiteboard so this demonstration can make more sense. So what I'm talking about today, and this is completely spoiler free, so don't need to worry, I'm not going to ruin the film for you. So I saw Infinity War last night. The third Avengers film. It is fucking unbelievable. Going to see it again tomorrow. But what I want to relate here is that how well what they've tried to achieve compared to their rival and how that relates to you. So we'll go all the way back so this makes sense. There's Marvel Comics and there's DC Comics, okay? Marvel Comics produce Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, the X-Men, Thor, the Avengers, Deadpool, Fantastic Four, a whole host of them. DC do Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, the Justice League, okay? Poor connection, okay, we're still going, that's fine. So the whole thing was, and basically they're both obviously, you know, there's quite a popular market at the moment for them when they're out and they're I suppose the market's quite popular at the moment for producing the films. So what they're both trying to do is they're trying to appeal to the same audience. Most people that like Marvel will like some or all of DC, vice versa, and then of course you have people on the extremities that will only like one or the other. Now, I've had a stance, I'm a big Marvel fan, I like a lot more of the characters, like the Batman stories. Obviously Batman's my main guy, he's the only one really from this side I like, but we're getting off track here. Marvel have kicked the shit out of DC in terms of popularity, film content, money they've made over the last kind of 10 years. It's never really ended well for DC. And what's happened was that, so the way Marvel went about was they've played the long game. They've had a plan. I think they've had 3 phases. They're doing 3 phases. They have 2 more phases to come after it. They've released 18 films. All piecing together as well. So the Avengers is basically like all the gang coming together to kick the shit out of the bad guy. Or do they? Do they not? Who knows? In the DC comics they've got Marion, what's going on, my friend? Over in DC basically they've got all like the Justice League, which is their version of everyone coming together to kick the shit out of the bad guy, okay? What they've done here is that Marvel, between the quality of their films, their storytelling and everything else, they've just blown DC out of the water, because what's happening here is DC is playing the short-term game. They're rushing things too much, and when they're rushing it, it looks like shit. There's no consistency, there's no nothing in it, okay? So watch this on the board over here. I'm going to try to flip the camera around, if I figure out how to do it. That's the button there. Okie dokie. So you'll see on this side here we've got Marvel, and this side here we have DC. So Marvel released Iron Man 1, 2, 3, Captain America 1, 2, 3, Thor 1, 2, 3, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man and Black Panther most recently, and they've done 2 more Avengers films leading to this. They started in May of 2008 and they've just released that now April of 18, okay? So what's happened was all these characters here have had individual films. They've had a couple of films where they've overlapped and teamed up. DC, however, went with a Superman film, then a Batman and Superman film, film, and then bang, in the Justice League. They started off in June of 13 and then in November of 17 released the Justice League film, the big team up one, okay? So the problem here is that not the problem, but the issue here is that basically with all these characters getting individual films, okay, we've spent time, we're emotionally invested in these things. So when I go to see Infinity War and each of these characters come up on screen, you're like, oh cool, I know this person already, I know their background, I know their story, I've done a bit of work on it already, I'm invested in it, I don't need to waste time in this film getting to know them. Unlike over here for DC, when they got down to Justice League, they introduced 3 more characters which are kind of important to the whole story, and you had to get to know them and learn to care all in the one foul swoop. So you might be wondering, God, that's a really cute story, but how the fuck does it relate to you when losing weight, okay? Marvel played the long game. They invested in each individual character by themselves. Okay, so you could take each of those 18 films, view it just as itself. It's a perfectly good entity. And then when you pair them all together, like all the Iron Man films tell a story, all the Captain America ones tell a story, the Thor, each trilogy links in together. So they link in with their own character, and then they link in together as a group. That's like your life. You know, so with Morty's system, with the F5, we've got focus, family, fun, finance, and fitness. Each of those pillars, or each of those sections, individually all matter. So they all need to be worked on individually. And then some of them will overlap, and then in some cases all of them will combine together to give us the results that we have in our life. We need to play the long game, but also do kind of, you know, like I said, back in May of 2008 when they released Iron Man, they knew, okay, well, we have a plan. This is hopefully the way it goes. Hopefully this is how it all kind of comes together. We're gonna follow this plan and adjust it as needs be. And as they produced and released each film, and they were coming off as huge successes, I think the only one that was ever really kind of not a major success was the second Thor film, and was a little bit shit. And the rest of them have all been pretty much box office hits, and they make literally billions of dollars. But let's bring that back to you and I and our health and fitness. You know, you need to have a plan where each individual section of your life needs to be worked on to get better. And then as a whole then, you know, it's better. You need to play the kind of the medium to long game as well. So kind of I have a year-long plan, but my year-long plan is broken down to 4 90-day blocks. Each of those 90-day blocks are broken into 3 30-day windows. Each of those 30-day windows are spread out among kind of the 7 or the 4 weeks or the 5 weeks in each month. And each of those weeks is broken down to each individual day, and each individual day I've got 5 areas I need to work on every single day. And when I work on those 5 areas every single day for every single week of each of those 30-day blocks inside of those 90-day windows, my year comes together quite nicely, and the same for yourself. So that's why Marvel has, in my opinion, kicked the absolute shit out of DC. If I'm working for DC, I'm going to save them a load of money and be like, okay, let's not produce a film for like 10, 15 years, wait for Marvel's kind of success to die down, and then swoop in and play the long game. Build the characters up bit by bit for them to come together as a whole. Lisa Marie, what's going on? But that's what I'm saying, is that Marvel built each character up individually and then had them start to overlap and kind of knit together. And as that, they all became stronger. So they were strong by themselves, and then when they linked together, they became stronger. So when each area of your life is strong and stable and progressive, they can all then link together and they all kind of rise up. Not coincidentally, when my sleep got better and my eating habits got better, when my eating habits and my sleep habits got better, I was training better. When I was training better, my health and my strength went up. When my health, my strength, my eating habits, my sleeping habits all went up, my physique has started to change, my skin condition has started to change, my productivity has started to change. When my productivity has started to change, my financial success has started, or my financial situation has become more successful. When that's become more successful, I've become, you know, I've more options on the table in terms of things I can do in my life. Mainly start paying off all of the bills. And then also that all decreases my stress. I'm feeling better, I'm looking better, I'm becoming more productive, I'm more effective, Jesus Christ. I'm more effective and efficient with my timing, with my resources, and then they all come together then to lead, to combine to a more happier, healthier, productive, successful life. And that's kind of where it is, because sometimes people kind of look at it kind of going, oh, well, I only want to work on this one area. Yeah, I get that, but you need to understand, you need to work on other areas as well. Only working on one individual area will only yield you a certain level of results, only bring you a certain level of progress. And like again, the main thing to touch back on the films is that the reason why, like, the DC films were enjoyable, they were fine to watch, but I'm not going to be, you know, in a rush back as well. Can't see the comments. It's Avengers Day. It is absolutely Avengers Day. Make sure he goes to the bathroom before he goes in, Lisa Marie. He's not going to want to miss a single second of it. And stay right till the very end of the credits. There's a clip at the end of it But yeah, so right till the very end. Paul Cialis, is he? Not too sure. Guys, I know the signal keeps kind of coming in and out here. The gym's acting, or the signal's acting up today. So if I watch this back and it's real patchy, I'll film it as a video separately and I'll upload it, because it's we've also done a podcast on this over on iTunes, episode 74, I think. So we cover the same kind of content, but the visualization's a little bit easier on it. That's pretty much it. Like, it's just, they've had success because they had a long-term plan, and their long-term plan was broken down. And when they looked after each individual bit, it didn't guarantee, but it increased the odds of success of the future parts. You know, there's a level of trust and reliability. When Marvel produce movies, there's a certain standard that's expected. There's a certain level of results that, a certain level of kind of movie quality that they're all expecting, because all the other stuff has been so good beforehand. You know, they've done it so well, why would they get it wrong now? So, and again, like I said, you know, as an individual entity or as something by itself, Infinity War is a fantastic fucking film. It's visually stunning, the storytelling is beautiful, it links together really, really well, and it's funny as fuck. But the other thing is that, like, all the characters that are there, all the characters that are on the screen in the film, are part of the story. You know, I'm already invested in them. I already know, oh, this is like this, this like that, because of the work that's happened previously. So the work you do previously will pay off not only now, so in terms of the payoff of each individual superhero film being really good, the payoff, the bonus payoff is later on, is that when you try and mesh them all together, the result is an awful lot better. In DC's case, they have the Justice League. There's 6 people in that, at least. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman, okay? They had only introduced Superman and Wonder Woman kind of properly. Batman was kind of introduced, and then they brought 3 new people in. It's very hard to, from the movie perspective, get to know 3 new characters, and then also get to know them, get to care for them, and understand the importance they play in the whole process. So like when you're working on different goals, it can be quite tricky if you're trying to balance all these things at once. Take them one at a time. Make sure, you know, when you're working on something, give it your undivided attention. You know, again, like what Marvel did. Focus on Iron Man, focus on Captain America, focus on Thor, focus on the second Iron Man, focus on the first Avengers. Tick, 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 everything went well. Then the next batch, go Iron Man 3, Thor 2, Captain America 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, each of the individual films. Focus on them all individually, and then the collective, when it comes together, goes well. Because when you're trying to do multiple things at once, you can take on too much at one time. Slow your pace down. And again, so DC tried to do in less than, just over 4 years, what Marvel have done in 10. Like, that's 2.5 times. Yeah, 2.5 times the distance in a 4-year window. And it's not as if they tried to do in a shorter time frame with less films, you know, the same thing. And it's crazy. So that's kind of where, and you're also going to kind of look at people that you know. That's kind of where, like, when I look at the people here in the gym, KSF, that's where I see them getting results. That's where I see with myself we're getting results. At the moment, you know, things are going pretty good. That's because of the work I was doing, not just the last few weeks, not just since December, since we moved facilities, all of 2017, and even through 16 and 15 and going all the years back. Every single thing kind of coming together to build up that success, to build up the foundation, the platform you're going to have for your results in as well. So that's why it's important to, you know, put in the work now, not only for now, but also for the future as well, because you never know kind of when, or you never know how far you're going to progress with something, or where you're going to end up with them all in as well. So that is pretty much it. I'm super tired. I lost nearly 2 hours of sleep last night because I saw a late viewing of the film. So that's pretty much it. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to start kind of tying down or kind of releasing details on the Unbeatable program. Has gone really well with the teens so far. So my first kind of protocol is to get it in with I'm waving at the neighbours. My first protocol is to get into more of the secondary schools in the area. So if you're involved in a secondary school, you're able to kind of put me in touch with the right people, please do so. That would be greatly appreciated. And then we're going to kind of do it for, we're going to go with parents. either single parents or kind of families. And the reason why we're doing it for parents is because as a parent myself, I've seen the difference it can make. So I want to really make sure I've everything tied down with that before I kind of go, hey, here's what we're doing. It is coming into Pipeworks probably by the end of May. We're going to work on that, but I'll talk to Morty, I'll talk to a few of the guys, get the structure in place. Take it easy. Go see Infinity Wars. Fucking awesome. But you probably should go see a few of them beforehand then as well. Good luck, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon, alright?